Joe Flacco yesterday had a couple things to say about his role in this very crowded quarterback room.
It's a good question to bait somebody into answering, and no matter how they answer it, it kind of makes the guy that's answering it look bad. If I say I don't want to be a mentor, I look bad. If I say I do want to be a mentor, then I look like an idiot that doesn't care about being good and playing football. So it's one of those questions that no matter what I say, you guys can write what you want to write about it. And there's a lot of questions like that. That's why you end up having to try to avoid them. I tend to try to be honest. And I've said I'm not a mentor. I play football. And in a quarterback room, there's a lot of times there's been already a ton of times where there's learning experiences, and I have a lot of experience and I can talk on things, and hopefully they listen. But it's not necessarily like my job to like make sure they listen to me. And hey, like hopefully you have a really good relationship with the guys that are in the room, and you naturally want to do that. Like, here's the thing is, like, because of what I just said, like, you're acting like I wouldn't want to be a mentor. It's like, once again, it's not really about that. It's just not the main focus. I see myself as a guy that can play in this league. So if your main focus was just like, hey, but I'm going to get you ready, you're just not taking care of business. The best way to be a mentor, honestly, is like show people how you go to work, and like I said, hope that they pick up on that stuff, but not necessarily force them to pick up on the things that you do.
Mary Kay Cabot joins us now from Cleveland.com and The Plain Dealer. And my whole thought right away is, if you're sitting there like this, first of all, and for the radio audience, I've got my arms crossed as I watch Joe Flacco give his press conference, you're immediately defensive. So, Mary Kay, does it make him look like an idiot to be a mentor? I think not. But this is just the beginning of a hot mess and a long, crazy season in Cleveland.
You know what? Let me just say this about Joe Flacco and that whole mentorship piece. He's been asked this question so many times over and over and over again, and he's tired of answering it. We asked him this question back when he was here in 2023. We asked him this question when he had his opening press conference, when he first signed with the Cleveland Browns. He was asked about it when he was in Indianapolis last year. And the question just irks him. So it really doesn't bother me too much that Joe is tired of answering this question. When he's been around in this game for 18 years, he's 40 years old. I can understand where certain things like this would get to him. And that is one of his hot button issues. I don't really blame him.
Yeah, but I would say this back to you. I'm 52, right? Suddenly I look in the mirror and suddenly these young women are talking to me like I'm the old lady in the room, the mentor who knows everything. And by the way, like, kind of sucks, but also kind of great at the same time. The way I look at it is with him is he's got to be smarter about answering it. I know he's irked. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has gone through this. Brett Favre's gone through this. We've seen every quarterback who goes over the age of 37 answering this. But as you see how crowded that locker room is, and we know that he wants to be the guy, he's made it very clear. It just seems to me like it's just not a smart approach to it. At some point, if he is the starter one and he is QB1 and he's playing his way through, I get it. But when we hear that Shedeur Sanders is looking good, when we know how crowded that room is, it just seems to me like be older, be better, be smarter about it.
Well, this is his, as I mentioned before, it's his trigger question, and he answers everything absolutely beautifully. And I just think that this is the one thing that he just doesn't want to talk about anymore. He's tried to say over and over and over again, look, you can learn from watching me. You can learn from doing whatever I do, but I'm not here to hold your hand and get you to be able to win the job over me. That doesn't feel like what he needs to do. So again, I don't have a huge issue with it. I know some people do, but I'm not in that camp.
What are your thoughts about what's happening in that room right now?
Well, I think actually when I look at the first part of the Browns schedule, it's a grueling schedule. They start with 2 AFC North foes, and then they move into this space where they have 5 out of 6 on the road beginning in week 4. And that shouts to me veteran quarterback. So I actually think that it might come down to Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco. And the Browns see something special in Kenny Pickett. They think maybe they'll catch lightning in a bottle and he can be their version of a Sam Darnold or someone like that. And so I think it's probably going to ultimately come down to those 2 veteran guys, because you don't want to lose your veteran Pro Bowl players early on in the season. So that's the way that I see it kind of shaking out in the end. But the Browns are also very, very excited about Dylan Gabriel, their 3rd round pick. And then the way it played out yesterday is the way that I thought it would, is that Shedeur right now is the fourth team quarterback. He did not take any team reps yesterday. Sometimes there's misinformation that comes out of an OTA like that, but he just did not take any team reps. And not just that he wasn't the second guy or the first guy, he didn't take any 11 on 11s yesterday. So he did a really nice job in his 7 on 7s, a great job. But they are making him come up the learning curve and earn his way.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.